Today's topic is the kingdom preparation. The kingdom preparation. So I titled this the kingdom preparation because of all the things going on around us. Something that the Christian churches do teach, I will give them this much, is kingdom preparation. But their kingdom preparation is all about praise. The knowledge of the understanding of the scriptures is not involved in actually preparing yourself to go into the kingdom. They're praising, but there's no knowledge behind it. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because they didn't heed to his words, his understanding. I'm paraphrasing. So our job is to actually prepare you for the kingdom to come. And in order to prepare you, we have to walk through the scriptures. Now, when it says those who are called and those who are chosen, there's a lot of people who are not chosen, but they're called. There's a lot of people who teach the Bible who shouldn't really be teaching the Bible, all right? And you see that in the Christian churches. They shouldn't be teaching the Bible because they're not giving us the proper application to enter into the kingdom. So there's a lot of people who are called, but not the chosen, because they are not teaching the proper application of gaining that understanding. So we're going to go to Colossians chapter 3, verse 17 for starters. Colossians chapter 3, verse 17. Colossians chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem HAMASHAYACH Yahawashi, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by him. All praises to the Most High. Now let's take it to Romans 15. I want to touch on one more other thing. So everything we do is through the Father, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the Father is worthy to be praised. The Father's name is Yahawah. Bahashem, HAMASHAYACH Yahawashi. Yahawashi is the Son's name. Now, when you purchase a Bible, all throughout the Bible, it's going to say Jesus. All throughout the scriptures. No matter where you purchase this King James Bible or any Bible, guess whose name is going to be in there? Jesus, God, Lord. So when we're dealing with our people, when we're waking up our people, just have that understanding that when you talk to them, they are not going to know who you're talking about when you say certain Hebrew or Hebraic names. We are Hebrew Israelites, but a lot of people don't even know that they're Hebrew Israelites, right? So when you talk to them, you may have to go backwards and tell them, oh, this is what I'm saying. When I say Yahawashi, I'm talking about Jesus. You may have to just let them talk. And then you ad-lib to correct them, to show them the way to the righteous path. Your studying in this truth that you have right now is more than theirs by a long shot. The stuff that you know now, they can't even fathom that understanding. Your studying in this truth is way more in depth than any person in Christianity. Just so you know, all right? I just want y'all to know that. Romans chapter 15, verse 4. Romans chapter 15, verse 4. It reads, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So what is that telling you? Everything written in the scriptures is for our learning. Even the little things. When you look at the lineage of Yahawashi, you have people in there. Those names that you always thought in your past wasn't of any importance are very important. Because I remember when I first started reading the Bible, I just skipped over all those names because it wasn't part of the storyline I was trying to understand. But those little names are very important. When you look at Moses, when he was just a baby, his mother carried him down to the rivers. That's what his name means, Moses, one who comes from the river. His sister, Miriam, as young as she was, she followed Moses all the way to the queen of Egypt. And then the queen of Egypt took Moses as her son. And then what did she do? She hired Moses' mother to feed Moses and raise him up under her guardian, under her protection. But Miriam saw to it that little girl, this is how important she was. She was just as important as every other person in the Bible. She guided her brother to that queen, and that queen received her. And then she went back to her mother and told her she was employed. That's why I say during these times of anguish, people are losing their jobs. You know the Most High. The Most High is going to take care of you. The children of Israel were suffering at the hand of Pharaoh, but here's Moses' mother and his father and his brothers and sisters being taken care of by the king of Egypt, by the queen of Egypt. You see that? They were being fed every day with protection because she nursed Moses up to be a young man. So he saw his mama all that time. He knew who he was from birth on up. Just imagine that. We're up here thinking he didn't know who he was. Well, the little things matter. He was around his mama the whole time. The little things matter. Kingdom preparation. You got to know the little things, right? That's why he says, here a little and there a little. Let's get that. Isaiah chapter 28. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9, it reads, whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Right? A baby eats milk, and when they get strong enough, they eat meat, right? It says, for precept must be upon precept, precept must be upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Every little bit counts in order for you to match this thing up, in order to grow in this truth. So today is called kingdom preparation. Kingdom preparation, many people are looking for the kingdom to come. We feel it. We think we see it coming, but we still got to prepare ourselves for what's coming. And starts within. Let's go to Luke chapter 17. And this is to the Israelites who are scattered abroad in the Americas, South and Central and North America, to the Sahara Desert, to India, to Abyssinia, those who are stuck over there in Gaza. Some of those are Israelites, right? Some of them. We have Israelites in Europe. We have Israelites in Asia. We have Israelites in Australia. And all the islands scattered abroad. We have Israelites scattered all over, all the way to China. So these are to the Israelites who are scattered abroad of Negroid and Native Indian descent. And the reason why we say of Negroid and Native Indian descent, because all the scholarly books that we have tells us that the Negroes were in captivity in Egypt. And when they left, guess what they were called? When they were scattered, they were called Indians, indigenous Indians, all over the world. So you have indigenous Indians who are in South America, Central America, North America, indigenous Indians in India, right? In parts of China, parts of Japan, and parts of all the islands. The indigenous Indians are the Israelites who actually dispatched from the look of Negroes and join all other nations, which changed their look to a certain degree. So this is what we're talking about. These are the Israelites who have lost their heritage, who does not know the proper application of knowledge for the Most High, but they do know how to praise the Most High. But the praise is not even being answered because they don't have the proper application of knowledge. You see? Luke chapter 17, verse 20. Luke chapter 17, verse 20. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of the Most High should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of the Most High cometh not with observation. So you're not going to see the kingdom coming, even though we think we're going to see it. Why are we not going to see it? Because being Israelites, Our job is to what? Wake up the tribes of Israel. We don't have time to see it. We're too busy working on ourselves to help others. This is something that's not going to be seen by observation. When you start teaching people out on the streets, right, or in the stores or in the houses, how many people know what you are teaching? Most people don't even know what you're teaching. Most of the time, when you're teaching somebody, you're whispering half the time. It's not going to be observed. It's something that people are not going to realize. It's going to be right before their eyes, and they ain't going to even know it. This is something that cometh not with observation. Luke 17:21. Neither shall they say, Lo here, or Lo there, for behold, the kingdom of the Most High is within you. You pack the kingdom of the Most High within you all around. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5, verse 19. Did the Romans know that the kingdom was coming? Did the Egyptians know that the kingdom was coming? Pharaoh had a hard heart towards Moses the entire time. He told him what was coming before it happened. He said, the Most High is going to send flies on you. Pharaoh looked at him like he was nothing. Like he didn't have the power to do anything. And then when the power of the flies came on him, then he asked for Moses to stop the flies from coming. Then once it stopped and dissipated, he went right back to his hardness again and made their jobs more laborious. So this is how the kingdom's going to come. Everybody else ain't going to see it. They ain't going to recognize it. It's going to be without observation by all those who are not seeking it. Matthew chapter 5, verse 19. It reads, Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, this is a big one, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Basic knowledge before leaving earth. We have the laws right before us. Dietary law, moral law, civil law. We have the ceremonial laws, getting ready for the feast days. This is what's great in the kingdom of heaven. The judgment laws, that's great. Teach somebody else that. But if you don't teach them, you're going to be considered least in the kingdom of heaven. Why would you want to be least in the kingdom of heaven? That don't make any sense. That means that you didn't work for it hard enough. You didn't care for it that much. Verse 20, Matthew 5:20. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees who studied the law daily, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. So this is our job, to practice what we teach, to rehearse the righteous acts. All right? So the whole concept of living righteously to the best of your ability and following the Most High's laws is, in this present life today, whatever you do, you keeping the laws, that's a reflection of the Most High. That's what's emphasized through your entire Bible. When you grab this book and you go through it and you study it, you are a reflection of the Most High. You're a reflection of the kingdom. It's the importance of wisdom. It is the importance of good deeds in your everyday life. That's what it is. Let's go to James, the book of James, chapter 1. Book of James, chapter 1. And let's drop down to, I'll start at verse 1 because this is a prominent verse. James 1:1. Let's go there first. And then we'll drop down to verse 17. This is James, a servant of the Most High and of the HAMASHAYACH Yahawashi, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. So this is a friendly gesture to those that this letter is written to. It's written only to who? The 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered abroad, of Negroid and Indian descent. Let's drop down to verse 17. Now it says here, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begot he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High. So that's something that the Most High doesn't really care for, right? Verse 21, wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. What's that engrafted word? The law, statutes, and commandments. Learning the laws, statutes, and commandments. You have to learn that. That's why he spoke about right above, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High. You got to know what the Most High likes and what the Most High don't like. Let's go to Psalms 111. The book of Psalms, chapter 111. And let's go to verse 10. This is how you know what the Most High likes and what he don't like. Psalms 111, verse 10. It reads, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom, because many people don't know what wisdom is when you read in the Bible. They think it's all Jesus, Jesus, right? That's what they say. Oh, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Yeshua, Yeshua. No, even Yeshua, Yahawashi knew what the fear of the Most High was. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom, a good understanding of all they that what? That do his commandments. That's the fear. Once you have that good, you have to have a good understanding, not just a basic understanding, but a good understanding to do his commandments. His praise endure forever. So to have a good understanding, they elected Pharisees and Sadducees within the kingdom of Israel in those days. When you look at Paul, Paul had a good understanding of the law, statutes, and commandments, where some things that he wrote were hard to understand. He had a good understanding. So how far do you have to go to surpass the scribes and the Pharisees? You have to have a good understanding of the commandments. You have to study to show yourself approved by studying the commandments. His praise endure forever. Now let's go into another verse. Let's go to Psalms. Actually, let's go to Proverbs, because we want to know, how do you ultimately fear the Most High through his commandments? How is that possible? What do you do? Because many people don't know that part. They read that part in Psalms 111 to 10, but they don't know the proper application of this. Let's go to Proverbs. I'm showing you with the scriptures, precept for precept, line for line, little by little. Proverbs 8, verse 13. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. Now, this is the same thing we just read, but he's going to specify what it is that he does not like. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. The fear of the Most High, just like we read in Psalms 111 to 10, is to hate evil. So what is evil? Anything that is opposite of the law, statutes, and commandments. The fear of the Most High is to hate evil. So in Christianity, that's all evil. They don't talk about the law, statutes, and commandments. In Islam, that's all evil. They don't talk about the law, statutes, and commandments. They have an offshoot of what we have, but it's not the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Most of them, when it comes to Muslims, they don't have a good understanding either. Their understanding is just messed up. The fear of the Most High is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. So these are the things the Most High hates. He hates evil. Some people say, well, don't use that word hate. That's not a nice word. Well, the Most High uses that word. So the funny thing about the scriptures, especially when it comes to the Apocrypha, I searched through the Apocrypha over and over, right? Over the stage of my life of 30 years. I've been reading the Apocrypha. It was introduced to me a long time ago. And I studied this Apocrypha searching for words such as the kingdom of the Most High in the Apocrypha. And you know what? I didn't see it. I didn't see the kingdom of the Most High in the Apocrypha before I came into the truth or after I came into the truth. And I said, why don't I see what's written in plain structure in the Gospels, the kingdom of the Most High? You know, I just could not find it. I could not find it in word form. But then as I was in the truth, I realized, I said, wait a minute. I said, this whole entire book is talking about the kingdom of heaven. The entire book of the Apocrypha, the whole entire book of the Old Testament is talking about the kingdom of heaven. It tells you all in it how wisdom is a key element of living a righteous life. When you read Wisdom of Solomon, when you read Ecclesiastes, because when you read Bel and the Dragon, when you read 1st and 2nd Ezra, it's all in there. It's just teaching you of living a righteous life. It's teaching you how to attain wisdom. It's seen as a way to access the Most High's will when you read it. You know, that's why I love 2nd Ezra, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 1 and chapter 2. Just starting off. But it's a way to access the Most High's will and to live in line with his will. That's what it's all about. It's the kingdom of heaven is all throughout the scriptures. You have to know in the proper application of faith. And when people say the Apocrypha is not a part of the Bible, they don't know what the kingdom of the Most High is. It's all these books within it. The Gospels, through my extensive studies, focuses solely on getting into the afterlife. When you read the Gospels, that's all HAMASHAYACH talks about is resurrection, getting into the afterlife. The kingdom of heaven, by changing your life. That's what the Gospels is all about, changing your life, making haste to repent, to prepare yourself by learning the word of the Most High to get into the afterlife. But Sirach, when you read Ecclesiastes, it provides the proper or the practical application of how to live a life that aligns with the Most High. You want to align yourself with the Most High's will right now, in the present, in the flesh. That's what you're trying to do at this present moment, right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 25. And when people say they don't want to keep the commandments, they're not trying to properly align themselves with the Most High. They're not ready yet, according to them. I don't have to do that right now. I could do that when I'm old. That's why the churches are filled with old women and old men. They're trying to get right at the end. They already did all their playing around and goofing off in the world when they were young. But the Most High wants you when you're young. You see how many young people are being taken off the earth right now? People are dying left and right. Were they properly aligned with the Most High? Did they get themselves in order? Did they hear this truth? You know, that's the thing that we all have to be concerned about. Did we do our proper part on teaching the truth to the younger generation? Sirach chapter 25, verse 10. It reads, "Oh, how great is he that findeth wisdom." Now we know what wisdom is, the keeping of his commandments and to hate evil. It says, "Yet is there none above him that feareth the Most High." Why don't these people fear the Most High? Verse 11, "But the love of the Most High passeth all things for illumination," because he is the Father of light. It illuminates us. "He that holdeth it, whereunto shall he be likened." So we want to be likened to Yahawashi. We want to be likened to the Father. Look at verse 12. "The fear of the Most High is the beginning of his love, and faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him." Brother Yahawah read Exodus chapter 20 when he says he establishes love to the 1,000th generation of those who love him. And then he has something to give to those who hate him, to the 3rd and 4th generation. So those that he loves, he's going to bless them unto the 1,000th generation. So he's telling us something here. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5. A lot of people don't have the Most High in their heart. That's why they're so afraid of what's going on today. You know, they don't know what to do. Most people. I went to the store to buy some shoes the other day, right? And I asked the lady, I said, "How's business around here?" Big store. She said, "For the last month, I haven't seen anybody in here shopping." And I said, "What?" Prime spot, prime lot. She said, before that, she said in December, everybody was shopping. But she said, now there's nobody coming in. Fear. People are in fear of the world. They're not in fear of the Most High. The president and his cabinet only been in office, what, a month and 10 days. We ain't even gotten to 6 months to a year yet. People are in fear. They won't buy nothing. They ain't going nowhere. The traffic is horrendous. Those who are working at home will try to go back to work so they don't lose their jobs because they're firing people now. People trying to get to work. They ain't at home no more. They got to prove themselves. But the Most High is mad and angry because nobody's in fear of him. That's the issue. That's why this drama is coming on the earth. The Most High is turning up the notch, turning up the fire. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. It reads, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." See that? So to be born again is to be poor in spirit. Joseph of Arimathea, was it Joseph of Arimathea? Yeah, he met with Yahawashi in John chapter 3. And Yahawashi said, you have to be born again in order to get into the kingdom. And he said, well, how is it that a man can go back into the womb of his mother and become a baby? He missed the whole point. Born again means it's a humbling effect. You have to humble yourself. You have to go back to that poor state, that humble state, to help others. Our job is to what? Wake up the tribes of Israel. That's how you enter into the kingdom of heaven. Many brothers and sisters will not understand what we're talking about today. There's a lot of brothers and sisters that just won't get it. The only thing that can keep you during this time, that can sustain you during these times, is knowing who the Most High is and knowing what he wants of us. That's the whole point of this truth today, of not being in fear of what's going on in the world. You got to understand this. Let's go to Sirach chapter 33. Sirach chapter 33, verse 10. Sirach chapter 33, verse 10 in the Apocrypha. And it reads, "And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge the Most High have divided them." People are divided today. You got people scattered all over the place. They don't know which way to go. They hear the word God or the Most High, and they go the opposite direction. They don't think there's no power in that. They've heard that their whole lives, but they've never tried him. They've never kept his commandments. They've never gotten that peace that he offers them. That's the humbling effect. They will not humble to the Most High. They will not go into that poor state that the Most High is talking about, that he speaks of in Matthew 5 and 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. They ain't ready for the kingdom of heaven. They're trying to organize this world to be aligned with the European Union. People who are monstrous, who are psychologically inequipped to get into the kingdom of heaven. Sirach chapter 33, verse 10 again. "And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge the Most High have divided them, and made their ways diverse." Just like Jacob and Esau, they had two different mannerisms. One was stronger than the other. Jacob was stronger than Esau by his mannerism, not by physical strength, but by mannerism. He was stronger in the spirit. Verse 12, "Some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them hath he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them hath he cursed and brought low, and turned out of their places." The Most High is not dealing with the natural man. The natural man believes in nature. right? But does he really believe in nature when he starts to do scientifical things, blending animals together? The scripture says once you start blending animals together, then they'll start blending themselves like they blend the animals. It's where you get the transgenders from. They're already operating in that scientific mind state of blending things, blending the rices, blending the vegetables, blending the meats, like the hamburgers, got everything in it. You think you eating beef, it got pork, it got beef, it got horse, everything is in it. That's why they call it grounded beef or grounded meat. A mouse to climb up in there, it's not going to stop the grinder from turning. It goes by the pound. They're going to distribute that meat to make that money based on the pound. So everything is blended. So you eat that meat, now your mind is off. Now your spirit is thinking another way. It's the same thing with sex. If a man gets with a woman who's a whore, or a woman that gets with a man that's a whore, all those blended spirits go into those people or those persons. And now they're thinking off. And that's what you see in the world. They got these all these different apps where you can find your love online. And these people, they ain't trying to establish no relationship. It's all about sexual gain. You know, they're all in the whorism, adultery and fornication. Sleeping with this person, sleeping with that one. After a while, there's no more love involved at all. They're basically like beasts, mingled beasts. How does the Most High frown down on that? You know, he says that he hates evil. He believes in marriage. Marriage is honorable. So we have to understand what the Most High likes. We have to know the proper application to keeping his laws, statutes, commandments. All right? We have to get that understanding. And that's what born again means. That humbling effect, being born again. This is how we're going to get into the kingdom. Let's go to Sirach chapter 20. Sirach chapter 20, verse 30. Sirach chapter 20, verse 30. It reads, wisdom that is hid and treasure that is hoarded up, what profit is in them both? Better is he that hideth his folly than a man that hideth his wisdom. Necessary patience is seeking the Most High is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide. So, I mean, the necessary patience in seeking the Most High is better. The patience is everything. What's that in Revelation 14? It tells you in Revelation 14 and 12. Let's get that real quick. Revelation 14 and 12. Y'all should know this one by heart, verbatim. But we're going to get it. Revelation 14 and 12. It reads, here's the patience of the saints. That patience is not to be underestimated. The patience of the saints, without that patience, the saints will still be lost. They got to have the patience. With the patience, the saints are going to be gathering up until the day of destruction. That's why it says, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of HAMASHAYACH Yahawashi. That patience is going to allow you to continue to gather. You're not going to feel like you gathered enough. That's the saints. That's how the saints think. When that kingdom comes, they're going to be like, I thought I had more time. I got more people to gather. I got more people to get to the Most High. We're gathering people to get into the kingdom of heaven, not gathering people to go to hell, but some people are. Some simple-minded people are actually gathering people to go into hell because they're not teaching the right doctrine. All those people you see going into those whorehouses, they're being gathered to go into the lake of fire, not going into the kingdom of heaven. Matthew chapter 13. Go to Matthew 13. So you got to have the patience and you got to have the faith of HAMASHAYACH. Matthew chapter 13, verse 47. Like I said, everybody shouldn't be teaching that weren't called or weren't chosen. That many are called, but few are chosen. Some people get called, because they meet the wrong person and just said one thing, you should follow God, but didn't give them the proper application to follow the Most High Yahawah, right? They got the desire to do right, but they're not being taught the right way. And they're leading people into hell, a worse condition. Matthew chapter 13, verse 47. Matthew chapter 13, verse 47. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just. There's going to be people gathering even with the Israelites with the wrong intentions. They're going to have the wrong understanding. They're getting involved with the Israelites because they like the dress attire. They like the blessings that they get. You know, it says when you keep the law, statutes, commandments, the Most High will bless you. You don't think people are going to gravitate to that? They want to be blessed too. But some are going to come with the wrong intentions. Some like the way we look. Some people like wearing beard. They see how we wear our beards, the men. They see how stern we look, that look of virtue. They want to be just like you. But they don't have the understanding to be like that. They have the wrong intentions. Some men get into it to get more women. Some women get into it to find men. They got the wrong intentions. They're going to be severed. The angels are going to divide them. You got to be serious about this. This is serious business. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 27. Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. So 0. Lo, this only have I found, that the Most High have made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Let's go to 1 Kings. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 11. 1 Kings chapter 11. Let's start at verse 1. It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Chinese, the Ammonites, the Japanese, the Edomites, so-called white people, the Zidonians, the so-called Africans, and the Hittites, more Africans, of the nations concerning which the Most High said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their powers. Solomon played unto these in love, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. 700 wives and 300 concubines. He found 0 out of all these women that he had close encounters with, mainly on a day-to-day basis. He found not one of them studying the scriptures, teaching the scriptures, observing the scriptures, observing the commandments. They were all into other gods. But it said that Solomon played unto these in love. They were all reprobates, all these women. So everybody ain't chosen. Everybody are not called. Solomon, out of all his wives, he was not equally yoked with not one of them. Not one. Hey, the Most High told us that he made man upright. A lot of us don't like to believe that, but it's the truth. He made man upright, those who fear his name, those who fear the Most High. Okay? The Most High will forgive him and his whole household. Remember that. Let's go to Ecclesiastes and the Apocrypha. Let's go to chapter 25 and verse, let's see what I want. Let's go to verse 19. Ecclesiastes chapter 25, verse 19, also known as Sirach. The Most High says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. See that? So Solomon couldn't escape. Whichever way he turned, if he sinned, he would fall. He fell because of sin. The very first commandment, worshiping other gods, idol worship, it's the same one Adam fell to. See, the Most High always holds the man accountable. Adam had one wife. Solomon had many, and he still fell. He succumbed to the same sin of Adam. Same thing. All right? So we got to understand, many are called and few are chosen. Are you called to this truth, to withstand? Joseph withstand Potiphar's wife because he knew what the consequences brought. That's why Joseph went to jail. It tells you in Ecclesiastes chapter 25, if you drop down to verse 16. This is Joseph right here. I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. Potiphar's wife was a wicked woman. Joseph had rule over the house while Potiphar was away due to Potiphar's trust in Joseph. But Potiphar's wife took advantage of that situation. That's why the scripture says, I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. See that? So this is why Joseph went to jail, and then he served an extra 2 years because the dream that he prophesied about, the guy got out and the guy forgot about him for 2 more years. So he suffered greatly. He suffered miserably for that sin. All this is ammo on how to deal with your woman and your women with your men. I'm not saying that all women are this way. We have some elect of the women as well, quiet as kept. So there are going to be some righteous women. When you look at Matthew chapter 1, just scattered throughout the chapter, it talks about Tamar, talks about Zara, talks about Sister Esther, it talks about Ruth. These are all women of the elect. All right? So we have to always remember, with all this being said about the wickedness of women, men are just as wicked. We're all here in sin. And always keep in mind that marriage is honorable to the Most High. Marriage is honorable. And we also have to remember in Mark chapter 10, the Most High speaks against those dissidents that come against those who are married, where he says, therefore, what the Most High joined together, let no one separate. Right? That's between the man and the woman on how they handle their matters. Whether divorce is present or not. Yes, they should seek counseling, but at the same time, it's ultimately between the man and the woman and the Most High. So the Most High is involved with that. Matthew chapter 13, verse 48. Which when it was full, they drew the shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. So who's going to do that? The angels are going to do it. Like I said, the saints are going to have patience up until the end, to the last minute. They're going to be working. Yahawashi is going to show up. That's why it says, blessed is he that is still doing the work when I show up. Verse 48, which when it was full, they drew the shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. See that? People are not going to be ready for that. When he shows up, they ain't going to be ready. Yahawashi saith unto them, have you understood all these things? They said unto him, yea, my power. Then said he unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is in a householder, which bringeth forth out of his treasure things new and old. When you're dealing with all types of people, even those who don't have the right intentions, they cause strife within the family. They cause strife within the gathering, right? And you're going to have to come out with scriptures to prove why they're wrong in the form of judgment. Some of those scriptures are going to be brand new to some people. Some of the scriptures are going to be old. You're going to bring out a refreshing course. But the Most High is putting us through fire. He's showing us who is his chosen and who are not his chosen. So we got a lot of work to do down here, a lot of work. You know, that's just the way the Most High got it. Preparation for the kingdom, it's something that never stops. I did various jobs doing my living on this earth, right? So one of my jobs required me to deal with logistical contracts. We could never, ever say we had nothing to do working in that field. We were always busy. We always had work to do up until the last minute. I mean, as soon as you walk through the door, you get to work. You got work to do. It was always a never-ending story. So the kingdom of heaven is just like that. It's preparation in the same way, dealing with the same things. You never got time to breathe. So in order to be in a field like that, you got to learn to pace yourself because you'll be overwhelmed. There'll be so much to do. You might, pass out. You might quit. So this is what the scriptures call the patience of the saints. Pacing yourselves by having patience. And the faith in the Hamashiach keeps you motivated. So you can continue to go to work because when you're going to a regular job, the way they keep you motivated is you got a paycheck coming after 2 weeks. But this is something bigger. What keeps us motivated is the faith of Hamashiach getting into the kingdom of heaven. So we're going to be working all the way up until that point. We're not going to be concerned about what's going on in the world. He already told us the world is going to be in chaos. It's going to be in darkness. We already know that, right? But we got to continue to stay motivated to continue in this truth, regardless of what's going on around us. We got a serious job to do. It is a light thing to wake up the 12 tribes of Israel. A light thing, he said. All right? So pick them peas, pick that okra until the sun go down. Keep it going. All right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 36 in the Apocrypha. Sirach chapter 36, verse 1. And we're going to read down to verse 11. Sirach chapter 36, verse 1. It reads, "Have mercy upon us, O power, Yahawah, of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after us. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see your power, as thou wast sanctified in us before them. So be thou magnified among them before us." What is he saying? Bring judgment on this place. He ain't saying show yourself so they can believe in you. No, he's saying bring judgment on them so they can see that they was living wrong. Verse 5, "And let them know thee, as we have known you, that there is no power but only you, O power. Show new signs and make other strange wonders." That's why you see what they call that, not a hurricane, not a tornado. What's that one that roll on the side? It don't go vertical, it go horizontal. But they got, I forget what they call it. It's the name for a typhoon. I guess that one's coming from the ocean. You got to be careful of all these different storms at different locations coming with new different signs. Verse 6, "Show new signs and make other strange wonders, like them sinkholes popping up in Hollywood. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. Raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Make the time short. Remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wondrous works. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen." Now you know who he's talking about. "That say, there is none other but we." So they think that they're gods. I told you that. This Christianity, it's a whole nother doctrine. It's not the doctrine of the Most High. They have their God. It's not the God that we have. Like Bob Marley's song, he says, "We're going to chase them bald heads." He said, they don't worship the same God we worship. He was right. They don't worship the same power. Verse 11, "Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them as from the beginning. See that? So he wants us to be gathered together. He didn't say anything about anybody else. People miss this point too, especially in the Christian churches. He says, gather the tribes of Jacob together. Let's drop down to verse 15. It's going to say it again. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning. He's telling you it's Jacob he possessed from the beginning. And raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Jeremiah, Micah, Ezekiel, Zephaniah, Moses. That's what he's talking about. Reward them that wait for you, and let thy prophets be found faithful. Be found faithful. That means that they're still prophesying out there. Let them be found. When he shows up on the earth, let them be found still doing the same thing, prophesying. So this is what it's all about. As you understand wisdom, you realize that the law gives you, through the Spirit of the Most High, good reasoning. And that good reasoning comes through practice. That's why he says, rehearse the righteous laws. That comes through practice, good reasoning. Trials and errors. That reasoning of being obedient, that justifies the reward that you get through faith in him. All that comes together. They all go together. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 1. Now he's going to speak on wisdom here in a different light. And it reads, wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily, and sweetly doth she order all things. Y'all know what sweet is. You've heard things taught to you sweetly. You smelled sweet things. Well, wisdom is sweet when you're doing right. When you're not doing right, it's not sweet. It's not sweet when you're not doing right. All right. Verse 7. Let's drop down to verse 7. And if a man love righteousness, her labors are virtues. Wisdom is her. Her labors are virtues. For she teacheth temperance and prudence, justice and fortitude, which are such things as men can have nothing more profitable in their life. Let's drop down to verse 8. If a man desire much experience, wisdom knoweth things of old, and conjureth aright what is to come. Wisdom knoweth the subtleties of speeches, and can expound dark sentences, like Daniel and Joseph. She foreseeth signs and wonders, and the events of seasons and times. Like we're preparing for all these new seasons coming in, right? Like the new moon is an ornament of seasons that are to come, right? We just blew up the shofars. This is the last month. This is the 12th month of the year. All right. This is right around the time Moses was taken off the earth. So at the end of this month is going to be the beginning of the year. The new moon that comes March 31st will be the first month of the year, which the Most High puts the ornaments of the moon and the stars up there for signs and seasons. This is how we're able to gather our feast days that's written of in Leviticus chapter 23. It prepares us for being in line with the Most High, right? That's the proper understanding of wisdom, the fear of the Most High. Not only do seasons and events represent the moon, stars, and quasars, but it also represents unexpected things in your life. Marriage disputes, children disputes, financial issues, counseling with brothers in the truth, counsel with sisters in the truth, disagreements, unexpected deaths in the family. All these are different times of your life which represent seasons in your life. Times where you might be going through a storm, or a time for famine, or a time for feast. These are the things that represent the events and seasons of one's life. This is what it's talking about. How will you overcome these types of things? Through the truth. Naturally, it's going to be through the truth. understanding the wisdom of the Most High. Verse 9, therefore I propose to take her to me to live with me, knowing that she will be a counselor of good things and a comfort in cares and grief. Drop down to verse 17. Verse 17. Now, when I considered these things in myself, see that? That's the kingdom of heaven is within you. Now, when I considered these things in myself and pondered them in my heart, how that to be allied unto wisdom is what? Immortality. So when you keep the laws, statutes, commandments, you are in line with being immortal. So when you die in this flesh and you go into the ground and the Most High returns, you'll have your reward. You'll be raised in immortality, in power. All right? That's what it's all about, preparing yourself for that day to come. It's all about preparation. We are preparing ourselves for that. Luke chapter 17 and verse 20. We read this earlier. Luke 17 and 20. And it reads, Luke chapter 17, verse 20. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees, when the kingdom of the Most High should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of the Most High cometh not with observation. Not going to see it with the eye. Neither shall they say, lo, here, or lo, there. For behold, the kingdom of the Most High is where? Within you, just like we read in the Apocrypha, in the Wisdom of Solomon. It's in you. It's a reason why he said the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's a reason for it. Do you know how big the kingdom is? I mean, if you had to observe it, could you tell it coming? How big is it? I don't know how big it is. I mean, the scriptures, it tells us one thing. If you go to Sirach, let's go to Sirach 1 and 3, because some people be like, well, you're going to see it come. Well, do you know how big it is? The kingdom. How big is the kingdom? Sirach chapter 1. Look at Sirach chapter 1 and verse 3. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 3. It reads, who can find out the height of heaven? Do you know the height of heaven? And the breadth of the earth. People think they know the breadth of the earth. And the deep. And wisdom. Most people don't even know that medicine is right there in front of them, right in their yard, right in front of them, right by the street. You got all these different herbs. Most I open up your eyes to wisdom, you'll be like, wait a minute, I had this all along, sitting right in front of me. This thing right here can heal this, it can heal this. I don't want to name no names of what these diseases are, because basically them names are demons. You know what I'm saying? People be shouting out, oh, I got this demon. Oh, I got demon. What kind of problem you got? I got this demon. I ain't about to yell out no demon name. You know what I'm saying? People be owning to these demonic names of these diseases. Don't even say his name. Don't give it power so it could grow. Keep it out your mouth. The Most High going to deal with that. So, I mean, the Most High is great, but who can know how tall it is? I mean, I don't know how big heaven is. It ain't for me to know. All I know is about what I could do within myself, and that's get myself aligned with the Most High. That's all I know, right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 1. People be trying to do the unthinkable. Don't know. I ain't met nobody that went up to heaven and came back yet, except for Yahawashi. And I haven't never seen him in the flesh, but I believe on his words, which allows me to see him in the flesh through the description of the scriptures. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. And look, this is heaven. People want to know how big heaven is. The Most High said, in the beginning, the Most High created the heaven and the earth. He don't tell you how big it was. It just says, I created it. It's like he said, don't eat this and don't eat that. He ain't got to tell you how big it is. It ain't none of our business. Genesis chapter 1, verse 7. And the Most High made the firmament and divided the waters. How big is the firmament? We don't know. How much water is on the earth? We don't know. Which were under the firmament. Which firmament? from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And the Most High called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. How big is the kingdom of heaven? There's multiple heavens. That's why Paul said, I heard things that were unthinkable to even repeat back on the earth that I heard in heaven, in the other dimension. He wouldn't dare repeat those words that he heard in another heaven. Those are just words. How about the dimensions? Let's go to Revelation chapter 21. Let's see what kind of dimensions is here. Because it does give dimensions in the book of Revelation, but this is just a small snippet of what's coming down. Let me go to my blue letter, Revelation 21. Check this out, Revelation 21, and let's go to verse 1. Revelation 21 and verse 1. So this is John the Revelator. This is what he saw in the vision of Yahawashi, of things to come. It says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Don't tell you the dimensions. And I, John, saw the holy city. So the holy city is something totally different than the heavens. New Jerusalem coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power. That's what's important. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. So let's see what he wrote, right? Let's drop down to, let's go down, let's see, the New Jerusalem. Let's go to Revelation 21 and 10. Let's see what he told him to write. It says, Revelation 21 and 10, and he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that a great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from the Most High, having the glory of the Most High, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, beautiful. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. It's good to know that they're talking about us in heaven, y'all. They're talking about us in heaven. They ain't talking about the heathens in heaven. They're talking about us in heaven. They ain't got a rumor about Esau in heaven. The scripture says in Obadiah, I've heard a rumor from the Most High. They talking bad about Esau up there. Revelation 21 and 13. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. So all these gates had the 12 tribes of Israel on them. Most High already created mansions for us. Revelation 21 and 14. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of 12 apostles of the Lamb. Which one are the Egyptians supposed to go in? I don't see the Egyptian foundation, or the Edomite foundation, or the Moabite foundation, or the Christian foundation, or the Muslim foundation. Revelation 21 and 15. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof. And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. So this is a big city coming down. This ain't the whole kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven, what's standing on it right now, actually, it's in this destroyed form called the earth. Where supposed to be, this place is supposed to be heaven. And a lot of you don't realize, too, when it talks about the lake of fire, many people think the lake of fire is going to be America. It is. Revelation 21 and 17. And he measures the wall thereof 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. So he's giving you the description of these walls and the city is going to be as big as Africa. It's going to be as big as Africa, if not bigger, that comes down. All right, so it's going to be, what is that thing that you see these Jewish people putting on their foreheads, a big block that looks like the cobblestone sitting on their foreheads? Well, that's how the temple is going to come down. It's going to be as big as Africa, if not bigger. Let's drop down to verse 22. And I saw no temple therein, for the Most High, Yahawah Almighty, and the Lamb are the temple of it. So this is Yahawashi is going to be the temple. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it, because we're going to have the Father of lights with us. For the glory of the Most High did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. People say, well, how can this be? How can this happen? Don't you know the Most High took, in the beginning, in Genesis chapter 1, he says he separated the lights, the lightness from the darkness, right? Before he even spoke about the sun, let's go there real quick. Genesis chapter 1. Let's go to verse 4. Let's start at 3. Genesis 1 and 3. And the Most High said, let there be light, and there was light. And the Most High saw the light, that it was good. And the Most High divided the light from the darkness. See that? And the Most High called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Was the sun and the moon there? No, it wasn't there yet. If you go over to verse 14, and the Most High said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament and of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And the Most High made, here we go, and the Most High made two great lights. The greater light to rule the day, that's the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, that's the moon. He made the stars also, and the Most High set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. So, but there was light already in the universe. You see this? In verse 5, he separated the light from the darkness. So all he did was just take components of elements and just spliced them. The dark part, he let go in a certain direction, and the light part, he let go in a certain direction. This is why in space you got all these different lights all over the place. All he's going to do is just take a whole bunch of lights and allow them to come down on the earth and dwell in the temple. That's his glory. It's going to keep the whole place lit. We're going to be made out of some of them elements in our resurrection. It's going to be beautiful. Haven't y'all seen, there's a scientist, I forget his name, he's from Africa. He created this mechanism where you could take seawater, put it in it, and it makes a light in the mechanism. It just lights up. But the force of it is coming from the ocean, from the sea. I don't know how he did it, but he made light where you could hold a lamp and walk around with it. And it's generated off of seawater. So the Most High could do something as simple as that and put it inside the temple. Isaiah 40 and 26. 40 and 26. Just about that. And it reads, lift up your eyes on high, and behold, who have created these things, that bringeth out their hosts by number. He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might, for that he is strong in power. Not one faileth. Everything the Most High has created is still here. Everything. Isaiah 40 and 27. Why sayest thou, O Jacob, and speaketh, O Israel? My way is hid from the Most High, and my judgment is passed over from my power. Hast thou not known, hast thou not heard, that the everlasting power, Yahawah, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary? There is no searching of his understanding. Everything the Most High has created, we can't search of the understanding of it. Why it's here? He made cattle of his kind, he made fish of his kind, he made man of his kind, trees of his kind, herds of the field of his kind. To everything that you see, which are two eyes all over the earth, the firmament and so forth. Everything is still in his power to this day. Man has not destroyed it. So don't underestimate our power. And then he tells us that the kingdom of heaven is within us. So he made us, the 12 tribes of Israel, to have the kingdom of the Most High in us. And other people are allowed to get some of that from us, but they can't have it. They can't have the covenants. They could wake up and change their lives. I'm talking about the heathen. They could wake up and change their lives to the better. They could worship our power. That's okay. But what we have, they can't get. Understand? It was made that way from the beginning of the earth, just like all the elements and everything else we see. The Most High wants us to focus on ourselves first and then focus on everybody else later, right? It's all about waking up the children of Israel. But this is a lesson called the kingdom of preparation, the preparation for the kingdom. I'll put it to that way. The preparation for the kingdom. Know that we can do all of this within our own minds of practicing, rehearsing the righteous laws, and teaching others. This is how we get that understanding of the kingdom to come. This is how we're going to be resurrected. So don't fear what's going on in the earth. Fear the Most High. All right? And with that, I'm going to end this class. This is a rather short lesson, but I hope that it was a fruitful lesson. And all praise to the Most High, Yahawah HAMASHAYACH.
This is the word of the Lord of hosts. I took you from the pastures and from following the sheep to be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone and have destroyed all the enemies in your path. I will make you a great name among the great ones of the earth. I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will plant them, and they shall dwell in their own land.